Good morning. This is Stacy Apple with Shield Sexton Company out in Indianapolis, Indiana. This is my tech plan for certification through Elevate Construction for apartment complex that's 400 units with 3 different buildings just on the northwest side of Indianapolis. As you can see here, we have 3 different buildings. Building A with a parking garage that's precast in the center, and we got Building B, which is about 20,000, and Building C, which is about 30,000. I divided up my zones in around 10,000 because that's where the framer would like to work with. As you can see over here on my legends, our notice to proceed is like the worst timing ever. Rainy part season starts in Indianapolis. We're going for 25.1 months on this project, and we got rules and goes I've implemented. And since weather's going to be a big factor on this job, I've included the NOAA summary for months in Indianapolis. So you can start out here and see on the site work. And I forgot to say, this is a proposal level schedule because right now we're only into DDs, waiting to get CDs, and towards the end of August and start in November. So this is really helping our business development department and the guys that got to try to sell the project because this is not ours yet. Exactly. So you can see here, we're starting our site work in November. This is a 20-acre site with a lot of unsuitable wet soils, and we've got some retention ponds to build and a lot of roads to build. So I got starting out here, we're like 7 weeks, garage building pad done, start ramdag piers, and we can do the footing for the garage. Now, during the time the precast erector is working in this center part of the garage, we're going to start just to the south here in A4 zone, start with our footings, then we'll go to B, then we'll go to C, and by that time, the precast guy will be out of the way, and we can start back proceeding around the parking garage in A4 north and making a loop around here to fully enclose this building after the precast is done. So you can see, I've got all my substructure labeled, so the concrete guy is flowing from building to building. Then he jumps back to A4 north to finishing closing the building around the parking garage. So on my structure, this is a mainly wood frame building. On all these, we've got, they're around between 9 and 10,000 square foot. And you can see we're doing the wet rough ends and the structures. And the main driver on this is going to be the roofer, be able to get established zones so it's safe for the MEP guys to get underneath him and work, which you'll see in the sections. Now this is a little bit different. We're showing 2 framing crews. Building A is going to go through and do start to finish, but as soon as the B1 slab grade is complete, we're going to pick up an extra crew and start B at the same time we're working on A. Now A will follow right through start to finish on structure, rough ends, and finishes. B and C will be following each other, so we're expecting 2 different crews from the framer forward on this. If you can see here, let me get my scroll in the right spot how this flows. So here starts our wet rough ends. You can see A flows all the way through. Then that second crew, it may be separate contractor, we're not sure yet with manpower availability, but B and C go at the same time, then E's by itself. So I've used my independency ties. I like to label them with this orange so they really would jump out as we update this so I can see what's going on here. I decided to use my weather potential delays to start finishes. I don't like scattering them out because it's hard to read because this truly will affect the end date, and it also helps with my flow of keeping everybody in their tech rhythm throughout. So as you can see here, again, we've got separate crews working in A, then another crew working in A and B. So I don't know if you guys have worked on apartment complex before, but it seems like the corridors always get trashed and becomes the in and out action. So we try to wait and do our corridors last because that's the flow for everybody to get around the building. Now on the exterior, I've also used that same delay because the interiors for weather, the interiors and exteriors will be starting later because eventually it could push out the roof being complete, which is also a driver for these. You can see zone A, roof dried in is when we're starting this, plus approximate 7 days of weather. Since this is still in DD mode, we don't have all the documentation yet. B and C have a good exterior finish, but when it comes to A, I just had to use the same map, and we're more or less predicting that it's going to have the same finishes as B and C until it goes through DD budgeting. Then we'll make a final decision there, but it'll be siding, stone, or whatever the budget allows on through the exterior finishes. And also you can see this job has a substantial amount of site finishes. There's going to be a pool, supposedly some pavilions, and a lot of landscaping on this project. It's going to be a high-end apartment complex, so the hardscapes and the landscaping are going to have about $5 to $7 million budget. So I've got them started in the spring, and you can see they're going to finish right to the end, approximately just with building A corridor finishes and finishes. We've worked with this owner before. He really likes the Takt simulation. He's sold on it. We decided to put this proposal together with that. Also, he likes it. Actually, both the guys that work there now used to work at Shell Sexton. They understand it, and they're a big fan of it. And through the building of this, it really helped me and helped our team establish what we had to do to really see what we had to do to finish closely to the time they wanted. Because if we would have waited for B and C to start after A, you could see that there's no way we would have made their 24, 25 month deadline. This has really helped our business development and the estimating crew to see where we were at and see what we had to do and what we had to buy on the front end and get with our DD estimate. So I appreciate your time listening to me, and have a wonderful day.